Hello, my name is Sean. Welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna play a game we haven't played in a very long time, and that's buy one, sell one, destroy one. And we're gonna be playing this game with a couple of SUVs, and that's the Lamborghini Urus Performante, the new Lotus Electra R, and the Ferrari Purosangue. So let's go over some of the rules for this game for those that may have never seen some of the past videos. First, we go over the specs. Then I rate the style of the car, and then we talk about the pricing before we finally decide what car we're gonna buy, sell, and destroy. And how I destroy the car really depends on what happens at the end of the video. So let's start with our first SUV, and that's going to be the one that's already here on the market, and that is the Lamborghini Urus Performante. The Performante has a V8 that makes 656 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 3.2 seconds, which makes it one of the fastest SUVs on the market. And it has a top speed of 190 miles per hour, which is 1 point better than the base model Urus. Now let's talk about this car's styling and how I would rate it. And for me, this is about a 7, and that's mostly due to the fact that I don't really like the interior style of Lamborghinis in general, because I believe it's a little too fussy, too much going on, too sporty, and I really don't want to deal with all of that. Overall, I think this car design is perfect. A lot of other SUVs, sports SUVs or super SUVs copy this design, and you can really see why. It looks good and it's a really high selling car. Now let's talk pricing, and this is gonna be a doozy. It costs around $260,000, and that's before you start dealing with the options and all that other stuff. So this is not going to be a cheap SUV whatsoever. So how does the Lotus Eletre R stack up to all of that? Of course, you know that this is going to be an EV that makes 900 horsepower and has a 0 to 60 time of under 3 seconds. The only downside to that is this car's top speed is only going to be 165 miles per hour, which would probably make it the fastest EV SUV on the market, but it's gonna put it behind some of its combustion cousins. So how would I rate the Electra styling? I actually would give it a 7.5, and that 0.5 is mostly because it is jacking the Urus's front styling. It is, very, very similar in its looks. Overall, I would say it has the Urus beat, because I do love the interior of this car. It's very simplistic. It's not very messy. It's very modern. Now, I cannot talk about the quality of that interior, but the whole overall design of it is pretty excellent, and I do like the rear end of this car. But, it does lose points for stealing the design features from the Urus. It's a better looking car, but it's really unoriginal. Now, the pricing for this is actually the most affordable on today's episode, with a price of $152,000, which I would say is not bad for something that is the quality that this car seems to be. Now, let's move on to the final SUV, and that's Ferrari's Purosangue. Now this is going to be a V12 that makes 714 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. And this is a pretty special car, because we thought we would never see another V12 Ferrari, and here you have it. Now, what do I rate the style for this car? I would rate it a 6.5, and here's why. Because I feel like this car looks too much like a lifted Ferrari FF and GTC4 Lusso, and I was not a big fan of those cars design wise. Now this car does have a few party tricks with the rear doors and how they open. I actually think that is something totally different from what we would expect from a Ferrari, and the interior is pretty modern Ferrari, and modern Ferrari is excellent Ferrari. Very simplistic, very welcoming, and very sporty at the same time. So now let's talk about the Purosangue's pricing, and it's what we would call ridiculous. Now this is going to cost anywhere between $300,000 and $400,000, and yeah, that is an extreme amount. Let's get to why you tuned into this episode. What car would we buy, sell, and destroy? And firstly, the car I would buy, if you haven't guessed already, would be the Lotus Eletre R, because the price is right, and this is the most powerful car on today's episode, and it's the quickest off the line. Now the fact that this is a EV is a minus. I don't really know much about electric charging when it comes to EVs. I'm not really a big fan of sitting around waiting for something to charge up before I go on a trip, so this would probably be a city car, and I would probably take it to the track once in a while just to see what it's actually capable of. Now you probably know what car I'm going to sell, because I generally sell the same brands when I do a video like this, and it's going to be the Ferrari Purosangue, and that's because the price is right, but in a different sense, because it's $300,000 to $400,000, and I can use that to buy this and the other car and probably have a little money left over. That is a ridiculous amount of money. I'm also not a huge fan of this car's design. Now it'll probably eventually grow on me, but not to the point where I would want to buy one. I don't think the fact that the car doors open a certain way is going to factor in whether I would buy one. I don't think it's a big enough deal. It's not enough for me to justify that price, which is ridiculous, which is going to lead us to the car that we're going to destroy, and that is going to be the Performante Urus, or Urus Performante, if you will. And the reason I would pick this to destroy is because this is a track focused car, and that's what I would do it. I would probably take it on rallies, take it off on the track every day, go off road with it, see what it can actually do, put it through its paces, and beat the hell out of it. Because why else would you buy this version of a Urus if you're not going to be tracking it and doing all types of races with it? If you're not going to do that, just get the base Urus, or the Electra S, because it's cheaper. Because that's what I would do. That's what makes sense. So tell me, what would you do in this scenario? What car would you buy? What car would you sell? What car would you destroy, and how would you destroy it? Let me know in the comments. And if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. If you want to see what I got planned next, come see what I got planned next. Got a lot of stuff for the channel. Really want you guys to be there with me. With that said, I'll catch you later.